How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Steins Gate. In the last episode, the time leap machine was finally completed. Now that we knew what the lifter was, the completion of the project has finally arrived. Finally. And they've decided not to continue experimentation with it. Or they're not going to do any experimentation with it at all. Apparently, it's just too much for them, and they will just pass it on. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't celebrate, so they're having a little party. Suzuha is here, and Suzuha and Kirisu do not get along for whatever reason. Apparently, Suzuha believes that Kirisu is actually a spy, or something along those lines. So, there was a little chaos in the last episode, or at least the end of the last episode, but I think all is good, nothing too crazy. Daru comes over to chat with Suzuha, and gradually peace returns to the lab. So there we go. All chaos is done. Kirisu is in the development room making a call, probably to her mother in America. I sit on the sofa and watch TV while sipping Dr. Pepper. The TV is running a game show where contestants guess the prices of popular items at high-class restaurants. Mayuri sits down next to me. She peels a banana and begins eating it.
Hmm?
Mayuri slowly looks around the lab, smiling all the while. You got that right.
Oh, 確かに.
I established the future gadget laboratory around the time I entered college. It was the first step in my plan to bring chaos to the world. That was around the middle of March this year, which means it's been almost 5 months. Not half a month after it was established, Mayuri showed up, I'm still not sure why, and became a lab mem. For about a month, it was just me and Mayuri. Then, in early May, I finally got Daru to join. All it took was telling him that the lab is just a 3-minute walk from May Queen plus Nyanyan. Ugh. But wait, that wouldn't make sense now. Now with us being on a different world line, that place doesn't exist. How the fuck did we get him to actually join? This location on the outskirts of Akiba has always been quiet. Mayuri isn't the type to object to every little thing like Kirisu, nor the type to make dumb jokes like Daru, so the lab was very peaceful back in those days. It was quite a pleasant place to be. And now the lab mem count has increased to 8. It happened in the blink of an eye, or so it seems. They didn't come today, but Lukako visits occasionally, and Fadis is a familiar face at May Queen plus Nyanyan, or at least she was before May Queen disappeared. I remember feeling out of place the first time I came to Akiba, but now it's like a second home. You got that right. Mayuri too seems pleased by the increase in lab mems.
ラボ面が8人に増えたでしょ。ちょっと狭くなってきたなってマユシーは思うんだ。まずね、椅子が足りないのです。
The sofa only has room for 2. Then there's Daru's personal desk chair. Those are the only chairs in the lounge. There are some pipe chairs in the development room, but they need to stay there.
買ってこなくちゃだよ。おかりんはお金ある？
No? What the fuck?
椅子を買うと貯金が底をつく.
Then I need to get a part-time job again.
じゃあ、マユシーのバイト代もちょっと出していいよ。
No, 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 no. That's just messed up.
あとはね、電子レンジ。新しいの買わないと。ジューシー唐揚げナンバー1が温められないよ。
ああ、それはすまん。
Cutting off Mayuri's chicken supply might actually kill her.
だがマユリ、タイムリープマシンを譲渡して謝礼をもらえば、問題はすべて解決する。
椅子と電子レンジの代金とちょっぴり上がっちゃったお家賃を払えるぐらいはもらえるかな。
もらえるさ。もっともらえる。
よかったね、オカリ。
なぜそんなに嬉しそうなんだ？
だってお友達たくさんできたもん。ダルくんでしょ、クリスちゃんでしょ、ルカちゃんでしょ、すずさん、萌香さん、フェリスちゃん、店長さん、なえちゃん、他にも。
You know, I don't know if we can honestly put Moika in that list, but yeah, we've met a lot of people ever since the beginning. Like, there's definitely been a lot of change. She gazes wistfully into the distance.
春の頃はオカリンはとっても寂しそうだったけど、もう大丈夫だね。マユシーが人質じゃなくても。
それはどういう？
What do you mean? I try to ask, but before I finish, an urgent news bulletin appears on the TV. The subtitles read, Terrorist bomb threat suspends Yamanote Sobu Kaien Tohoku lines?
爆破テロ予告？
つうか全部秋葉原駅通ってるじゃん。マユシ帰れないんじゃね？
ほんとだ、家に電話しなくちゃ。
A bomb threat. I don't know why, but I've got a bad feeling about this. Only the lines passing through Akihabara are suspended, as if that were the target. Wait, could that be it? Could the bomb be at Akihabara Station? I get a cold feeling in my stomach.
岡部倫太郎、一つ聞かせて。タイムリープマシンは完成してるんだよね。
は？おお。
そっか。私、用事思い出したからちょっと出かけてくる。
Alright. Suzuha leaves the lab without another word.
何なの？彼女。
Suzuha is acting strange. Is it related to the bomb threat? Why did she just ask about the time leap machine? Something occurs to me. The 2 threatening emails I received. I don't know why it keeps doing that. We're watching you. Stop doing that, game! That's actually really freaky. You know too much. Who sent them? And there's more. Words and images flash through my head. SERN. The LHC. Jellyman. The Z program. Government secrets. The organization. That was an interesting image. Men in Black. The Committee of 300. The Time Leap Machine. What did Kirisu say?
私たちひょっとするととんでもないものを作っちゃったかもしれない。
Meaning, taken separately, each of these elements was insignificant. But if I consider them part of a single line, they all point to one inescapable truth. We've come too far. Fear seizes my heart in an icy grip. I can feel anxiety eating at my brain. I can't breathe. Even though it's hot and humid, my body shivers. Should we run? Get out while we still can? We can't use the trains. What about the subway? Or would a taxi be better? Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's doing anything. What should we do? Suddenly there's a softness against my hand. I look down to see Mayuri's hand holding mine. When I look up, I see worry written on her face. It's okay. I'm just being paranoid. It's all a coincidence. Tomorrow we'll get rid of the time leak machine. Then we can forget that all of this happened. Pretend it was just a dream. We never invented a time machine. I don't need money. As long as we can forget about today and welcome tomorrow, we'll be okay, won't we? But my anxiety doesn't go away. I look over Mayoti's head at the entrance to the lab. The door is unlocked. Anyone could just waltz right in. I hear sirens wailing a few streets away. The bomb threat has Akiba in an uproar. Yet here in our corner of Akiba, it's so quiet. Mayoti squeezes my hand with her warm, slender fingers, and I squeeze back. Alright! What the fuck? The next thing I know, the door slams open. 5 men burst into the lab. Their movements are swift and sure, professional, and each of them is carrying a gun. I guess Okabe wasn't paranoid at all. They spread out just inside the door and aim their weapons at us. It all happens so fast. No one has time to scream. The men are foreigners, a mix of races, dressed casually in colorful shirts and shorts or jeans. But their arms are thick with muscle, and their eyes are hard and cold as ice. 2 of them are holding pistols. The other 3 have assault rifles. AK-47s and Akiba? Is this some kind of joke? One thing is certain. These guys aren't tourists. Nah, dude. The dark-skinned, crew-cut man barks in order. Feels like I'm dreaming. Did I fall asleep while watching an action movie? This is the first time so many people have gathered in this room. Suddenly, the lab feels small. What an odd thing to be thinking at a time like this. The first to obey is Daru. Then Kirisu raises her hands. Then me. Last is Mayuri. Silence. Time seems to grind to a halt. The men say nothing, but their guns remain steady, muzzles pointed at us. On the TV, a comedian laughs. What is this? Are we on candid camera? Then I hear a new sound coming from outside. The sound of high heels. A woman is coming up the stairs. Are these men waiting for her? Is she their leader? A squad of battle-hardened commandos led by a beautiful woman. It's like something out of a manga. Nothing seems real. Before long, the woman appears. Ah, fuck, dude. Come on! Come on! The part-time editor. The male demon, Shining Finger, who is never seen without her phone. LabMem 005. Moeka. She's their leader. The least imposing woman I've ever met. Really? Really? She seemed a little weird the last time we saw her. Even now, she doesn't meet my stare. Her eyes are aimed down at the floor. What's going on here? As always, her words are barely audible. It's ridiculous. Laughable. And yet, I can't laugh. My heart is a jackhammer in my chest. The inside of my mouth is drier than a desert. I stay still, with my hands in the air. I don't understand. Why is Moeka here? I don't know, but I have to ask. Moeka shakes her head.
あなたたちに答える必要はないという意味。抵抗は許されない。とにかく来て。
どこへだ？
No reply. She doesn't intend to answer that either. Dangerous. These guys are dangerous. Look at their guns. Nothing good can happen if we go with them. I try to refuse, but my voice catches in my throat. I can't stop staring at their guns. Are they real? They're not gonna start shooting, are they?
理由と行き先を教えてもらわない限りついていくことはできない。
拒否することは認めない。あなたたちに逃げ場はないわ。私たちの仲間はすでに秋葉原中に散らばっている。
Oh, great. Wait. Something clicks in my head. It was them. They sent the bomb threat. They stopped the trains. Why? To keep us here? Just for that?
手荒な真似はしたくない。3人とも一緒に来て。なんで？
Kirisu, who has kept silent until now, finally opens her mouth.
3人なの？
That's when I realized that Mayuri wasn't included in Moeka's demand. She only wants Kirisu, Daru, and me.
何を聞かれても答えるつもりはない。あなたたちはただついてくればいい。
We're not getting anywhere.
おかりん。
Dadu's voice is shaking. I turn my head to look at him. He's deathly pale.
とりあえず言うこと聞いとくべきじゃね。
だが目的を言ってもらわないと。
Honestly, I have no idea what to do. My heart is still fluttering in my chest. This seems more like a dream than reality. I'm not a military otaku. I've never seen a real gun. The black shine of their weapons looks somehow tacky. They lack the imposing feel you expect. I'd believe her if she told me they were fake. Mayuri suddenly speaks up.
ねえ、萌香さんはラボメン仲間だよね。
It's as if Mayuri asked my question for me. Moeka was a strange woman, but I welcomed her as a lab mem all the same. What is she thinking right now? An answer? Ah! Great! What a fantastic answer! Moeka pulls a gun from her belt and points it at us. I realize that Moeka isn't holding her phone. This is the first time I've seen her without it. Not like that matters now. Moeka's gun hand is trembling. Is the situation affecting her too? It must be. She's terrified of talking to people.
一緒に来てもらうのはあなたたちの口を封じるため。
Nani? Silence us?
それは拒否しても変わらない。
Does that mean she plans to kill us? Why? What did we do?
一体誰の差し金だ？お前たち何者なんだ？
私たちは
Moeka suddenly lifts her head. For perhaps the third time since I've known her, she looks straight at me. Her eyes are dark and empty.
セルンの
Wow, I guess CERN really was our enemy. CERN?
M4!
The dark-skinned man speaks up. Is he addressing Moeka?
口を慎め。
Moeka hangs her head again. In my head, I replay the words she just spoke. SERN. They're from CERN. Why CERN? Of course, who else could it be?
3人とも一緒に来て。
Moeka raises her voice in frustration.
これ以上拒否するなら嫌でも行きたくなるようにするから。
Moeka slowly raises her gun. She points the muzzle at... Uh-oh. Mayuri. My whole body instantly goes cold.
椎名真由里は必要ない。
よせ
I lunge at Moeka, but the dark-skinned man is faster. Ouch. Something strikes my chin with crushing force. The shock numbs my entire body. Stars explode behind my eyes. I fall to my knees, powerless to stand. Everything goes dark. What happened? Did he hit me with the butt of his rifle?
Okari!
I look up. Mayuri, face streaked with tears, is reaching out to me as if begging for help. Over her shoulder, I see Moeka ready her gun. I try to yell stop, but my voice catches in my throat. Nothing comes out but a pitiful wheeze. Someone. Anyone. Please. Stop her. Stop Moeka! Moeka's lips move. She's mumbling something.
セルンのために FB のためにセルンのために FB の
So, what is FB? She said that before. Her mouth opens and closes robotically. My blood curdles. No! Ah. A sharp, dry crack splits the air. Time slows to a crawl. Moeka pulled the trigger. Ah! What a fantastic sight! Blood spurts from Mayuri's forehead. It splashes across my face, wet and warm. Her delicate, frail body falls towards me. I catch her. Her body is limp like a puppet with no strings. Her head and arms dangle lifelessly. The smell of gunpowder fills my nose. And then the smell of blood. Dadu clutches his head and falls to his knees, screaming at the top of his lungs. The sound jerks me back to my senses. In my arms, Mayuri takes one short, shallow breath. And then... Ah, dude.
Mayuri.
Fuck, man. She's dead. Mayuri's dead. Her face is covered in blood. Her blood stains my hands. It's warm.
もう一度言う。3人とも一緒に来て。これ以上の警告はしない。抵抗するならあなたたちも殺す。
I hear a voice, but I can't comprehend what it's saying. What is this? What's going on here? Is this a joke? We may have created a monster here. This is a dream, right? Right? I feel nothing. My mind is blank. I shake Mayuri's shoulder. Mayuri. Wake up, Mayuri. You'll catch cold if you sleep here. If you're tired, you can stay overnight. Or I can take you home if you prefer. We'll ride the train back to Ikebukuro together, like we used to before Daru joined, when it was just the two of us. Memories of her smile whirl through my head. 1,000 different smiles from 1,000 different occasions. If I look away, she'll disappear. She always disappears.
もう大丈夫だね。マユシーが人質じゃなくても。
No, Mayuri. I still need you. Laugh for me. Hey, 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 hey. Like you always do. Greet me with your silly toot-to-doo. Tell me it's a lie. Tell me you're alright. Mayuri. Red flames consume my mind. An inferno of rage and hate and rage and hate and the burning desire to kill everything I see. I gently lay the motionless Mayuri on the floor. I stand up. And then I fling myself at Moeka. But before I can take a step, someone grabs my hand from behind. Moeka's gun is aimed at my head. Her finger is already on the trigger.
俺も殺すのかよ。
抵抗するなら
ごめん、お願い。今は従って。このままじゃあんたも殺される。
I tear my hand from Kirisu's grip. My vision is a tunnel with Moeka on the other side. She won't get away with this. She killed Mayuri in cold blood. I'll do the same to her. Moeka pulls the trigger. And what happened? The sound of the shot smites upon my eardrums. I feel a sharp pain on the side of my head. I nearly lose my balance again. But I'm still alive. What happened? I realize that Moeka's gun is lying at her feet. Beside it is a small stone. Someone must have thrown it and knocked her gun aside. Oh! Oh shit! Suzuha came back. Suddenly, Suzuha is there in the doorway, knocking one man down in the blink of an eye. Before anyone can react, she darts into another man's range and delivers a piercing elbow strike to his solar plexus. The man drops to his knees, gasping for air. The remaining men turn their guns on her, but she throws the incapacitated man towards them to block their aim. And then she slides into their feet of the man at the rear, tripping him forward, and in a single smooth, flowing motion, drives her knee into the man's face as he falls. The dark-skinned man aims his rifle. But before he can fire, Suzuha snatches a stunned attacker's gun and shoots him. Blood spurts from the man's hand. Without pausing, Suzuha leaps into the air and delivers a soaring roundhouse kick to his jaw.
そこまでよ
Ah. What a lovely scene. The next thing I know, the 5 men are down and Moeka's gun is aimed at Suzuha's face. But Suzuha doesn't back down. Her gun is trained on Moeka's neck. It's a standoff. Neither moves. Silence returns to the room.
何者
42
Suzuha's reply makes no sense. She glances at me.
テレビ
What is she saying?
点灯済み
何を
Suddenly, Kirisu springs up and makes a break for the development room. So, that's what Suzuha went to go do. She knew the attack was going to happen, somehow, and so she turned on the TV downstairs. The lifter is set.
動くな。それはこっちのセリフ。
I suddenly realized the meaning of Suzuha's words. The 42-inch TV downstairs. It's on. She wants me to use the time leap machine? I look at Mayuri's body. She's lying there quietly. Her eyes are closed. They'll never open again. One of the men Suzuha knocked out starts to moan. If they wake up, it's all over. Suzuha looks at me again. Her eyes implore me to make my move. If I use the machine, I can avert Mayuri's death. But at the same time, it could fry my brain. Fry my brain, so what? What is there to fear? Mayuri is dead, shot in cold blood. This isn't right. I won't accept it. Then change it. Change the past. You have the power. Use it. I stagger into the development room. Kirisu is about to put on the headgear. I pull it away from her.
岡部。
俺が飛ぶ。
ダメ。私が。
I grab Kirisu's wrist as she tries to take it back. I stare into her eyes met with tears.
俺がマユリを助ける。
もし失敗したら。
I ignore her and put on the headgear. Moika's last shot grazed the side of my head. My ears are still ringing, and there's blood on my neck. It doesn't matter. I might fail. I might even die. But I have to try. It's my only chance to save Mayuri. Kirisu bites her lip and activates the X68000.
岡部倫太郎、一人行った。殺せ、使わせるな。
やらせるか。
The crew cut man staggers into the development room. Acting purely on instinct, I grab future gadget number 4, Mode Snake, from the shelf and flick the switch. White smoke instantly fills the room, rendering it impossible to see. Wow, one of the previous inventions that are left here in the lab actually became useful. Oh. Uh-oh.
岡部、本当にいいの？タイムリープしてもいいの？ねえ！
やれクリス、マシンを動かせ。
Uh-oh. Pain flares in my right arm. Was I shot? It doesn't matter. I see blue-white light shining through the smoke. The discharge is starting. The light rapidly grows brighter. The floor begins to shake. The singularity is open. I crouch down, holding the headset steady with one hand. What are we doing? Oh, okay, yeah, we have to call it, my bad. I'm an idiot. Wait for me, Mayuri. I won't die here. I'll cross through time to save you. Leap, my memories. Leap to the past. The world explodes into light. Oh. We're going back in time, baby. And now we're in chapter 6. Oh my fucking god.
マユリ、マユリ。
No matter how many times I call her name, Mayuri doesn't answer. Mayuri is standing in front of a grave, gazing at the sky. The grave belongs to her grandmother, who died when Mayuri was 11 years old. Her parents were always busy with work, so her grandmother was her only companion. I was close to Mayuri's family, so her death was sad for me too. At the wake, I expected Mayuri to break down and cry. She didn't. Instead, she spent the whole time gazing vacantly at her grandmother's memorial portrait. 6 months went by. I had advanced to middle school, so Mayuri and I no longer commuted together. But whenever I passed the cemetery on the way home, Mayuri would always be standing there. Every day, rain or shine, she would stand for hours before the grave, staring wordlessly at the sky, as if she could see her grandmother in heaven. In her hands, an old pocket watch. The watch had belonged to her grandmother. Mayuri always held it when visiting the grave.
Mayuri?
No matter how many times I called her name, Mayuri did not answer. Back then, Mayuri wouldn't talk to anyone. Not to me, not even to her parents. Whenever I saw her standing there, staring at the sky, I felt unease grip my heart. Her gaze was so earnest, her intention so pure, that I feared some power might grant her wish and carry her off to heaven to join her beloved grandmother. And so, to ensure that nothing like that happened, I made sure to stop by the cemetery every day. I would stand next to the sky-gazing Mayuri and call her name.
Mayuri?
But no matter how many times I'd call her, Mayuri wouldn't reply. The only sound the only sound in the lonely cemetery was the echo of my voice calling her name. It was raining that day too. Mayuri had a light blue umbrella. In contrast to the umbrella's color, the sky was glazed gray, covered in clouds. After a while, the rain stopped. Rays of light shone through gaps in the clouds. A stunningly beautiful sight. Rembrandt's rays, they are called, or sometimes the angel's ladder. Suddenly, a strong wind swept through the cemetery. It caught Mayuri's umbrella and carried it into the sky. Mayuri seemed not to notice. She kept staring at the sky. And then slowly, so very slowly, she stretched her hand out to the sky, as if to grasp the rays of light, as if her grandmother were reaching down to pull her up. And then she lifted herself on her toes. To me, it looked as if she were floating up towards heaven. Impulsively, I grabbed Mayuri's outstretched hand and pulled her into my embrace. In retrospect, my fears were just a childish fantasy, but at the time I truly believed that Mayuri might vanish.
どこにも行かせないぞ。連れてなんて行かせない。
I realized how embarrassing the words coming from my own mouth were.
マユリは俺の人質だ。人体実験の生贄なんだ。
It was the first excuse that came to mind. Before her grandmother died, Mayuri and I were fans of a popular TV series about costume heroes battling evil. I particularly admired the villain, a mad scientist. I even got pretty good at mimicking his lines. Now I was doing it to hide my embarrassment. I could feel my face growing red, but I kept up the mad scientist act all the same. If nothing else, it was better than admitting my insecurities.
どこにも逃がさないからな。
As I said this, I realized that Mayuri was shaking. She whispered. It was the first time in 6 months that I had heard her speak. Her voice was choked with tears.
マユシは人質なんだね。じゃあしょうがないね。
She smiled happily. Tears fell from her eyes. And then Mayuri buried her face into my chest. Wow. That was a very nice backstory, actually. Kind of shows us how the development between Okabe and Mayuri really started to grow. How they became what they are today. Ah, man. Now I got shivers. Where am I? Who am I? I can't see. I can barely think. A terrible screech fills my head, like feedback from a giant speaker. It penetrates my brain like 100 sharp needles stabbing me right behind the eyes. I thought brains weren't supposed to feel pain. And there's more. I feel a shiver of pleasure beneath the pain, and a terrible itching like my body is on fire. Man, time leaping sure is safe. I want to crack open my skull and tear out my brain. I want to scrape out my soft gray matter with my fingers and eat it. What the fuck? The assault on my brain is driving me crazy. Who am I?
ちょっと岡部、どうしたのよ。
Suddenly, the shattered pieces of the world reform. I slowly come back to my senses. I'm in the lab, standing in front of the phone wave named subject to change, with my cell phone to my ear. No, not the phone wave named subject to change. Since headgear is attached to it, it's the time leap machine. It's hard to breathe. Give me oxygen. I hear a low, wheezing groan and realize that it's coming from my own throat. I close my mouth, then take a deep breath. The insides of my throat feel like they're burning. I resist the urge to cough and continue filling my lungs with air. I notice that I'm drenched in sweat. The drops sliding down my forehead are annoying. I try to wipe them away with the back of my right hand. My hand obeys, slowly. Something is off. It's like my body and my mind aren't totally in sync with each other. Almost as if this isn't really my body. As if my nerves aren't communicating properly with my extremities. I try blinking slowly. This might just be my imagination. Could this be exhaustion? I haven't slept much lately. I try to move my hand again. There's no disconnect this time. This is my body.
岡部、聞いてる？
A familiar voice. I turn around slowly. Kirisu is there. She stares at me perplexed.
どうしたのよ。急にすごい声出して。
What is she talking about?
具合悪いの？
I try answering, but my voice doesn't work too well. Even more bewildered, I clear my throat several times.
いや、問題ない。
Yeah, sure. After feeling like we should, tear out our brain and everything, we're fine.
そう。だったらさっさと出かける準備しなさいよ。買い出し行くんでしょ？
So we did only just go like a couple or so hours back.
買い出し？
For what? I search my memories. The moment I do, images appear in my mind like a string of exploding light bulbs.
人間は根源的に時間的存在者である。
もう大丈夫だね。
Yeah. What a fantastic memory to have. I remember now. I used the time leap machine.
未来の記憶を思い出すのよ。
That's right. What am I standing around for?
ここはどこだ？
は？
I grab Cutisu's shoulders and pull her close.
今は何時だ？何月何日の何時何分だ？
痛い。落ち着け。
落ち着いていられるか？買い出しって言ったか？
Which shopping trip is she talking about? Daru is sitting at his computer staring at us wide-eyed.
ダル、今日は何日だ？今は何時なんだ
？13日の5時ちょっと過ぎだけど。
Yes, it is Friday the 13th. It's actually Friday the 13th the day I'm recording this. I'm not joking at all. The 13th, a little past 5.
成功したのか？
Did I manage to time leap in the middle of all that chaos? Did my memories really jump through time? Does that mean I've leaped into my past self? Is there a chance that it was all a dream? Thinking back, forward, it doesn't seem real. Commandos breaking into the lab. It's like something out of a Hollywood movie. But the sight of Mayuri, broken and bloody, is burned into my eyes. I remember the smell of the blood, the sound of the gunshot, the weight of the headgear on my head, the pain of the bullet tearing through my arm, Kirisu screaming, Suzuha fighting to defend us. I remember it all vividly. I touch my arm. No bullet holes, no pain even. Was it all a dream? I don't know. I've never time leaped before. I can only hope that it was a dream. A future like that is too much to bear. I recall Mayuri's last moments and my eyes fill with tears. I force the tide of emotion back.
マユリは
I look around the lab. Kirisu and Daru are here, but I can't find Mayuri.
マユリはどこに？
どこってルカシのところに行くってさっき言ってたじゃんか。おっかりん聞いてなかったん？
That's right. Mayuri went to beg Lukako to wear her costume. She won't return until it's time for the party. What do I do? What do I believe? Was it a dream? Or was it real? If it was a dream, then I don't have to worry about anything. If it was real, then I need to act now. I take a deep breath.
あれは夢だったんだ。あんなの現実に起きるはずがない。
It was a nightmare brought on by anxiety, that's all. There's no other logical explanation. I desperately persuade myself that it's so. Little do I know that I will soon regret my foolishness. Oh, man. Alright, we're gonna end it here, guys. God damn, what a fucking ride. We'll save it here, I guess. Metaphysics Necrosis. One of those two. Oh, man. That was a roller coaster of emotions. I didn't really know what to say a lot of the time. That was just horrific. Tragedy strikes, man. But I like it when a game or a story overall, when it's able to handle, you know, showing like this nice long period of peace, and then when you least expect it, the tragedy does strike. and the story just gets moving. That was no fucking dream, guys. That was no dream. Of course, Okabe is going to think that because he's in denial, but I remember back in the anime, this is where things... I think this was like the best moment in the anime, if I remember correctly. I cannot wait to fucking see what happens next here in the visual novel. So thank you very much for watching this episode, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. I'm really excited for the next episode, and I hope you guys are too. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.